Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Baina Midday News, coming to you live from our news hub, Atomic Junction, Benab House, Accra. My name is Fauzi Abdullah. Coming up this afternoon, the Inspector General of Police has announced the arrest of 2 additional suspects in connection with the daylight robbery at a jewelry shop in Adabraka. And in business, the minimum monthly pensions and the SNIT have been increased to 400 Ghana cedis following the approval of a 10% pension indexation for 2026. And on the international front, Syria's Ministry of Defense has announced a ceasefire in 3 neighborhoods of the northern city of Aleppo. These and many more stories coming up in the next few minutes. Do stay. You're welcome back and thank you for staying. You're watching Baina Midday News and we're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Baina TV. Now let's delve to our very first story. The Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yohunu, has announced the arrest of 2 additional suspects in connection with a daylight robbery at a jewelry shop in Adabraka, Accra in November 2024. The arrest, he said, follows months of sustained surveillance and intelligence-led operations by the police aimed at tracking down all individuals involved in the violent incident.
Adabraka was thrown into panic on Saturday, November 2, 2024, when 4 masked and heavily armed men carried out a brazen robbery in broad daylight near the bustling Adabraka market. The assailants attacked a man seated in a red Toyota Corolla parked close to the market, firing multiple shots in the air to scatter traders and shoppers. Eyewitnesses recounted that the sudden gunfire caused widespread fear, forcing people to abandon their stalls and run for safety as the robbers executed the attack in full public view. 1 person sustained severe injuries during the incident and was rushed to the hospital. Speaking at the handing over ceremony of 100 new police vehicles on Thursday, January 8, Mr. Yohun revealed that the suspects were apprehended following painstaking investigation and intelligence gathering over several months. The suspects, Hamza Agrigo, popularly known as Nene Boko, and Al-Hassan Ilyasu, also called Arab Man, were arrested with several dangerous items in their possession, including firearms, ammunition, bulletproof vests, and other exhibits. The arrest follows an earlier breakthrough in the investigation, which led to apprehension of a key suspect, Salim Mohammed alias Faruwata, on November 20, 2025. He reaffirmed that the Ghana Police Service commitment to ensuring that all those responsible for violent crimes are brought to justice. Mr. Yohunu assured the public that the police would not relent in their efforts to dismantle criminal networks and improve public safety, particularly in commercial hubs and high-traffic areas. He also urged members of the public to continue cooperating with the police by volunteering credible information to support crime detection and prevention.
Moving on, President John Dramani Mahama has warned that individuals targeting and killing personnel of the Ghana Police Service and other law enforcement agencies will be dealt with ruthlessly. He warned that criminal elements who target police officers and other security personnel will have no hiding place, vowing ruthless action against them.
Speaking at the National Police Headquarters after presenting 100 pickups vehicle to enhance operations nationwide on Thursday, January 8, President Mahama expressed deep concern over recent attacks on security personnel. President Mahama recalled a recent memorial service held in honor of police officers who lost their lives in the line of duty over the past year, noting that several of them were shot by armed robbers and other criminal elements. He stressed that the state will respond decisively to any attack on law enforcement officers.
And criminal elements must know that the state has both the capacity and the will to act. Law-abiding citizens must feel protected and not threatened. Security is not only about responding to crime, it is also about preventing it. These vehicles will support patrols, community policing, and coordinated operations against organized crime, highway robbery, illegal mining, and cross-border threats.
President Mahama also reaffirmed his government's commitment to strengthening the Ghana's police service through sustained investment, referencing earlier efforts to improve the service operational capacity. His comments come amid security concerns following the killing of a police officer by an unidentified gunman 2 weeks ago in a late-night attack at Kariminga on the Bolgatanga-Tamale Highway. The attack also left 2 other officers injured.
Now, away from that, a man, 26, popularly known as Efutu, was on Thursday morning burned to death in a suspected arson attack in a ghetto at Asenfosu. The incident occurred when fire swept through his wooden structure in the early hours of the day. His charred body was discovered after firefighters and police responded to a distress call from residents around 7 a.m.
Assistant Superintendent of Police Rosemond Duncan, Asenfosu District Crime Officer, said personnel from the Ghana National Fire Service were called in to extinguish the blaze, but the structure had already been destroyed when they arrived. Some residents suspected foul play, alleging that a group of mechanics in the area had previously threatened to burn Efutu alive or evict him from the structure, accusing him of stealing from their shops. Others, however, believed the fire may have been accidentally, as they recounted that Efutu was seen earlier behaving erratically while smoking, raising the possibility that a discarded cigarette might have started the fire. Tensions flared after the incident when some angry youth, believed to be friends of the deceased, confronted the police with sticks and clubs, demanding the immediate arrest of the mechanics. To prevent further unrest, the district police requested reinforcement from the regional command, the divisional police, and the formed police unit. ASP Duncan confirmed that the body has been deposited at the St. Francis Xavier Hospital morgue in Asenfosu, with investigations ongoing to establish the exact cause of the fire.
Now, further in today's bulletin, President John Dramani Mahama says government has commissioned a Singaporean company to construct housing units for personnel of the security services, including the Ghana Police Service, Ghana Prison Service, Ghana National Fire Service, and the Ghana Armed Forces. He explained that the company's first major project was the construction of a 10,000-bed hostel at the University of Ghana, but it has now been tasked to also deliver accommodation for the country's security agencies.
According to the President, the decision followed a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) signed during his visit to Singapore in 2025 to establish a prefabricated housing factory in Ghana to support large-scale infrastructure delivery. The President made the disclosure while addressing the Ghana Police Service end-of-year gathering, popularly known as West Africa Soldiers Social Activity, WASA, at the police headquarters in Accra. He said the initiative under the government's Big Push agenda is expected to significantly improve accommodation conditions for security services and urged the police service to identify available lands within their barracks for the housing project. President Mahama described WASA as more than a social event, noting that it provides an opportunity for reflection on service, sacrifice, and the shared responsibility of safeguarding peace and stability in Ghana. He commended the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yohunu, the Police Management Board, and personnel of the Ghana Police Service for what he described as their effective performance during the recent Christmas and New Year festivities. According to the president, despite increased travel and social activity during the festive period, crime levels were kept low through careful planning, discipline, and intelligence-led operations. He also praised the strategic deployment of officers across highways, communities, markets, places of worship, transport terminals, and entertainment centers, saying the visible police presence reassured the public. President Mahama said he was encouraged by the speed and professionalism with which the incidents were handled, noting that reports were promptly addressed, suspects swiftly apprehended, and criminals' activities disrupted. He further described the revival of WASA after a long break as symbolic, stressing that it highlights the need for institutions to periodically reflect, reassess, and renew their commitment to duty. Earlier, the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yohunu, said the 2025 WASA event was organized to allow officers to briefly step away from their demanding schedules to appreciate one another and acknowledge their collective efforts.
You're still watching Baina Midday News. We'll go for a quick breather, after which we bring you business and more to stay.
Kowace ranar Asabar a kan Baina TV. Kar ku rasa al'amuran gari, shirin da ke kawo muku manyan labaran siyasa na mako, daga manyan batutuwan siyasa zuwa matsalolin zamantakewa da ke shafar da al'umma. Muna kawo muku cikakkun bincike da tattaunawa mai karfi. Ku kasance da King Abdul Jalil, sarkin siyasa, tare da manyan masana da wanda suka shahara a fagen siyasa. Tambayoyi masu karfi, nazari mai zurfi, gaskiya ba tare da tsoro ba. Al'amuran gari. Kowace ranar Asabar karfe 8 da safe a kan Baina TV. Kada ku rasa shirin siyasa da kuka fi so tare da Amir Mukhtar Mauni, showing Wednesdays at 8 p.m. only on Baina TV.
It's back again. It's bigger and better. Brace yourselves for the third edition of the biggest pre-Ramadan fair in town. It's the Baina Trade Connect 2026. 2 days of endless sales and unmatched vibes. Mark your calendars on the 14th and 15th February 2026 at Zurak Park, Libya Cortez, Medina from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. each day. Come trade, come connect, come shop and have fun. To book a stand, contact 053-948-7757. Baina Trade Connect 2026. See you there.
welcome back and thanks for staying. If you just tuned in, you're watching Baina Midday News and we're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Baina TV. Now let's delve into the world of business. And minimum monthly pensions under the Social Security and National Insurance Trust have been increased to 400 Ghana cedis following the approval of a 10% pension indexation for 2026. The move is aimed at cushioning low-income pensioners and strengthening the pension floor. Under the new arrangement, pensioners who were previously receiving the minimum pension of 300 Ghana cedis will now earn 409.56 Ghana cedis per month, representing a 36.52% increase, well above the headline indexation rate.
The adjustment was approved by SSNIT in consultation with the National Pensions Regulatory Authority in line with Section 80 of the National Pensions Act 2008 Act 766. SSNIT explained that the overall 10% indexation comprises a fixed 6% increase for all pensioners together with redistributed flat amount of 91.56 Ghana cedis from the remaining 4%. The redistribution mechanism anchored in the solidarity principle of Social Security is intended to narrow disparities across the pension spectrum and deliver more meaningful gains to lower-income retirees. Speaking at a press conference in Accra, the Director General of SSNIT, Kwesi Afrabaini, said the decision would help protect the value of pension contributions, particularly for low-income earners. SSNIT noted that factors influencing the 2026 indexation included salary growth among active contributors, projected average inflation of 8% by the end of 2025, and the long-term sustainability of this pension of the pension fund. While higher earning pensioners will receive increases closer to the headline rate, lower income pensioners will benefit from significantly higher effective adjustment due to strengthened minimum pension floor. The trust also disclosed that the highest earning pensioner, who earned 201,792.37 Ghana cedis as of December 31st, 2025, will receive 213,991.47 Ghana cedis per month in 2026. Monthly pension payments will continue to be made on the third Thursday of every month.
Now moving on to some news beyond our borders, Syria's Ministry of Defense has announced a ceasefire in 3 neighborhoods of the northern city of Aleppo after days of heavy clashes between the country's military and the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces. A fierce exchange of fire extended into the night, with rescue workers scrambling to extinguish fires ignited by shelling, before the Defense Ministry said it would give armed groups a 6-hour window on Friday to leave the contested areas.
In a statement, the minister said the ceasefire in the neighborhood of Sheikh Maksud, Ashrafia and Bani Said from 3 a.m. would pave way for the restoration of the law and official institutions and to protect civilians. The window for the SDF to withdraw closes at 9 a.m. and departing fighters will be permitted to carry personal light weapons, state news agency SANA reported, citing the defense ministry. Aleppo's media directorate said on Friday that SDF fighters encircled by the Syrian army in 2 districts of the city are to be sent to the Kurdish majority region of the northeastern Syria. The ceasefire appeared to be holding through Friday morning, according to sources on the ground. However, Kurdish councils in Syria's Aleppo said on Friday they will not evacuate neighborhoods under their control. In a statement published by the Syrian Kurdish outlet, the local council of the Ashrafia and Sheikh Maksud district said calls to leave Aleppo were a call to surrender, and that Kurdish forces will instead defend their neighborhoods. Earlier, the Aleppo International Security Command said in a statement that a curfew was imposed until further notice in the Aleppo neighborhoods of Ashrafiyeh, Sheikh Maksud, Bani Zaid, Al-Sayan, Al-Huluk, and Al-Medan. At least 22 people have been killed and 173 wounded in the Aleppo since fighting broke out on Tuesday, as the Syrian military accused the SDF of targeting civilian areas. civilians with artillery, armed mortar shells. The Kurdish-led group has denied the allegation, saying this week's casualties were caused by indiscriminate artillery, armed missile shelling by factions aligned with the government in Damascus.
And in the world of sports, Ghanaian forward Antoine Semenyo has officially joined Manchester City on a 5.5-year deal from Bournemouth. The 26-year-old completed his medical on Thursday, with City agreeing to meet the £65 million release clause for the Ghanaian forward. City will pay £62.5 million plus £1.5 million to Bournemouth, who will also benefit from 10% of any future sale profit. Semenyo, who is the first Ghanaian to sign for the blue side of Manchester, has netted 10 goals and provided 3 assists this term. He chose Pep Guardiola's side after attracting interest from other suitors, including Manchester United and Liverpool. He will be available to feature immediately for City and is also eligible to play in next Tuesday's Carabao Cup semi-final first leg at Newcastle. Now this brings us to the end of today's news bulletin. For more news, you can visit our website at www.bainamultimedia.com. My name is Fauzia Abdallah. Do have a good afternoon.